Welcome to the Mike Clegg YouTube channel, and today I'm really pleased that I've got Danny Webber with us. I've known Danny for a long time, and Danny's going to join us today on the Topical Football section, so thanks for coming along, Dan.
Pleasure, mate.
Well, what a week it's been in football this week, eh? Incredible. So we'll start with Man United's game against Southampton last week. It was a really interesting game. I said last week I really felt they needed to start well, just to keep that consistency going, just keep the buzz around the club going, and ultimately it was quite a tough game, but we come through at the end.
It was. It's one of those games that you think with Southampton, you know what, they'll come here and we'll walk all over them in the form that we've been in. But I think the fact that Hassan Hüttl's going to call him Hassan Hüttl's come in, he's changed the way Southampton play. They play very much in a German fashion where they come out the blocks pretty quickly, and that's what they did against United. Obviously scored a worldy goal. Was it Valerie scored a worldy goal to score from there against the Hayos? Always, it's insane. But United showed the character. Ultimately, Lukaku doing the business, got us back in the game, and with Pereira as well scoring a goal from a different class. His first goal at United to stick it in the top bin the way he did was different class, and ultimately we came out the victors.
Yeah, and to get that sort of the last minute goal again and to win 3-2 there, it just keeps that momentum going, and a really, really positive victory, which was really important because it leads into the big game on Tuesday against PSG. But again, that weekend there was an interesting sort of title setup now. United have got this great run going. Up at the top, it's getting a bit awkward. Liverpool drew against Everton. It was their Merseyside Derby. I got two great friends who were playing in the game with Jordan Henderson at Liverpool, and Jordan Pickford, the goalkeeper at Everton, who I worked with at Sunderland. And it was an interesting game. But it was a 0-0 game, and a game which I suppose Man City would have been the most happiest out of everybody.
I think it's funny because it's the... as Manchester people, as a Man United fan, we want Man City to win the league, and I'm saying it here, but that's the general.
We want Man United to win the league in general, but because we know they're so far up, we want Man City to win the league. Of course,
and that's it. I mean, if we manage to come through, it'd be a minor miracle, and you won't put it past Ollie. But if you're being serious about it, out the two, if you'd want City to win the league, but looking at the 0-0 game, Liverpool Everton. It was a good result. A good result all around, in fairness.
It was, and Man City scraped a 1-0 win against Bournemouth. I think they dominated that game, but they're the games you've got to win if you're going to win the league, obviously. They
are, and it doesn't matter. Everyone expects City to win 4 or 5-0 every week, and because they've got the players and the capability to do so. Yeah. But I think it's important that you do also have the ability to be able to grind a game out. And it was Mahrez that came off the bench and was the difference maker on that day. So, Bournemouth's not an easy place. No. It's not an easy place to go to. Eddie Howe get some well drilled, but they might do it victorious. Yeah,
Eddie Howe's done a great job at Bournemouth. I was lucky enough to actually room with him back in the day. I was at England under 21s with him. So, Eddie's a great guy. He's very committed. He's very passionate. He's very technical, driven, and he's done a great job. And what a career he's had at Bournemouth. He
has, and it's funny because he's taken them obviously from the bottom level up to where they are now, and he had that little spell at Burnley when he left, and Bournemouth went a bit shaky as well. Pretty similar to, he's gone back there and put it back to the Bournemouth way, pretty similar to the way Ollie's come back and put Man United to the Man United way, and Bournemouth's got its own identity. They play quick football, they buy young players, they develop them, and the likes of Callum Wilson, they pulled from nowhere. Josh King, who was a young lad at United, who's having a steady career there. He always chips in with 10+ goals a season. You can't say he's not doing a good job. He's doing really well.
Exactly, and that sort of leads into the Tuesday game, the big game, the game where really, I think everybody speaks to all the pundits. I heard Rio speaking. I've heard different people who really know the game. They give Man United no chance. They had 10 players out. Pogba suspended. There was 8 academy players in the Man United squad, and everybody basically said no chance. Apart from maybe Ollie himself, who said if we start right, miracles can happen, and if we can get the first goal, who knows?
The belief has to come from the manager. Even though the odds are stacked against you, you always know you've got that small, the small chance of going through. You got to believe in that small chance, and he did, and he said it publicly, and I'm sure behind the scenes he's saying to the players, listen, look, and I know for sure he used Ajax as a catalyst from the night before.
Go and tell us the story then.
I just know that Ajax, you know, he sort of said in the dressing room, you know, you only have to look at Ajax going to Real Madrid, you know, turning over the deficit there and winning 4-1. That's your team talk, and you know, in a nutshell, it's happened the night before. It's fresh in everybody's mind. It gives you that belief.
So we had a great start, didn't we?
Oh, superb start. I think, is it Kera, the right back?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Poor pass back.
Poor pass back, but credit to Lukaku for latching onto it, then having the presence of mind to be able to go around the keeper and slot it away. That immediately gives you a little bit of belief. You know, the deficit's less, and you think we've got a chance here, but we've got a long way to go. And they dominated for a sort of 15-20 minute period after that, where you thought, you know, we're under the cosh here. And
they've scored, obviously, and then you think you're back to square one, and then you just worry that they might just go and dominate it, but like they did at Old Trafford. But they didn't, did they? They
didn't, because United showed character. First and foremost, you know, we talked about City having the grit to be able to go to Bournemouth. That was a gritty performance from United. It wasn't having the most possession. It was everybody, you know, watch Chris Smalling and Lindelof. They were immense at the back, and they went about their jobs quietly, so they didn't get the plaudits. Lukaku gets it, Rashford gets it quite rightly, but those two needed a mention because they put the head on everything. They blocked everything. The amount of times that Mbappe was nearly in, or Di Maria nearly got in, and those two were the last line of defence, and it's that kind of performance that you need from everybody, which we got.
Exactly. And then the second goal, it was, Rashford, he takes a long range shot, he puts a bit of dip on it like a Ronaldo dip. Buffon spills it. But what was brilliant was Lukaku was there to pick up the pieces, where maybe sometimes in the past people would have criticised him because he wasn't there, but he actually read that moment, didn't he? He was there like a flash. He's playing high on confidence at the moment, and when you're a striker and you play high on confidence, that's natural. You follow things in. You're told as a kid, follow it in. And 9 times out of 10, nothing spills off the keeper, especially a keeper of Buffon's sort of stature. But it was a wet surface. It was Manchester weather in Paris, and it was, as you say, the way Marcus hit the ball, it sort of came off the surface, and Buffon, you know, he spilt it and managed, you know, just before half time, the timing was good as well. He managed to get put us 2-1 up. Exactly, then it goes into the second half, and again it's a tough battle, and we're not sure which way it's going to go. And then, you know, there's a couple of substitutions. A few of the young boys come on, the likes of Chong and then Mason Greenwood, and you're thinking, is it going to happen? Did you have a feeling that there was going to be an opportunity where something miraculous might happen? I did. I think the longer the game went on, I looked at it, and they had a lot of the ball again. You look, it's a game of margins, like very, very small margins, and the post, De Gea saved from Mbappe, and I thought, the longer it goes, it's going to go our way here, because we only need a goal. And the fact that Ollie puts on younger players, it gives you a little added impetus, because one, the PSG players don't know who they are, so they don't know how they're going to play. Two, the young lads have got a lot to prove, and the debut for Mason was immense. The fact that he got on the pitch and well earned as well. And then you're thinking, who's going to provide that moment? You know, it's one moment. You don't have to have all the ball. It's that one moment. That's right. And Dalot, as he went through and took the shot, I was saying, go on, have a go. And I actually thought the shot was going just over, in fairness. Well, when I saw the shot, first of all, I just thought, and from the wide angle, it goes out for a corner. You're thinking, like, come on, let's get the corner in. And then suddenly there's this like moment of like, well, VAR's being introduced. What's happened? And it slows it down, and you see the guy. You know, I think it's poor defending. As a defender, me looking at that, I'm thinking the ball's, take it in the face, take it on the chest, or turn, but keep your arm down. But he sort of turned the wrong way. He stuck his arm out, and it's hit his arm. And then it goes to the VAR, and you're thinking, I tell you what, we've actually got a right chance of getting this. The more you saw the right chance. Yeah, you're right. The more you saw the replay, you thought, you know what, we do have a chance here. And the key factor, as you say, turns his back, which is one, and his arms are away from his body. Exactly. If it was Smalling or Lindelof that had happened to, I'd have felt hard, hard done to. So, I take that into account, but I'm not. And didn't happen to us, and we're on the receiving end of a penalty. So, nerves of steel. So the penalty, whoever grabs the ball. So we get the penalty. And our penalty takers are not even on the pitch, are they? No, Pogba's usual penalty taker. So Rashford gets it. I think the stats are he's never took a penalty for Man United first team. He's took one, I think, for England. I think it's been said. So he's got the ball, and I bet there's a lot of people, a lot of fans thinking, flipping out. This is obviously this is the final kick of the ball, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, what was your thoughts? Because he absolutely smashes it in. Yeah. What a brilliant penalty!
I backed him.
Did you?
Yeah, I was. We were in the studio and one or two people were like, oh my God, I don't know. I just went, no. I said, I back him. Yeah. The way he strikes a ball from any distance, I don't see him missing penalties. One, because of the power he gets on it. Two, his accuracy, and I know he works at his technique all the time. Yeah. As a kid, he used to go in the gym when everyone went home and he'd work at his technique. And I remember saying in the studio, that's the moment when you're on the streets as a kid, you build that moment in your mind. Yeah. You say, right, Champions League or, FA Cup semi-final, that kind of, you build that scenario, penalty, and it's like win or lose. And it's, again, the margins, what's going to happen. And, he was confident enough. You could see a few people got a bit shaky on his run-up, but, the final 4 or 5 steps were done with intent, and he really put it away. So
just trying to explain the feelings for me, for yourself, the fans, that feeling when to score that goal, and then for the team to ultimately, they had to do a couple of defensive blocks at the end. It was a bit awkward for 4 or 5 minutes, but to win that game, it's got to go down as one of the best nights of Champions League history for Man United, apart from winning, in 08 and 1999, because it was just immense and nobody expected it.
It was immense, and I think, to put it in context, you think we had no Pogba, no Herrera, no Matic, no Lingard, no Martial, no Valencia, no Sanchez. The list goes on. Yeah. Take that out of any team, and it's taken a big chunk of what you are. But the credit that has to go to the players for the sort of drive and determination and digging deep and just pulling together, and that includes the backroom staff, the fans. Everybody played their part to get us over the line, and it is one of the best European United.
Amazing.
United.
Well done to the lads, and just one last point on that, and that's to Ollie, the manager, and the belief he's got back in the youth system. I know you can say there's 10 players out, but still he went with the youth. There was 8 youth team players who've been through the youth system. I just thought McTominay played brilliant that game. Well. And Pereira did really well. Mason Greenwood making his debut, and Chong. So I think it's just setting up United for a great future.
You look at the batch of players. There's a nucleus of young players there that could see the club go forward for a long time, as you say. There's others as well. But for those lads in it at the moment, they've all got in my opinion, the character to stay there, to forge careers. And with Ollie at the helm, and McPhelan and Carrick helping, and Kieran McHenry, who's done work with them in the 18s as well, the transition is good for them. Particularly, and I know people have been talking about it for years. Every time I sort of talk about Mason Greenwood, I think what he can be, without putting pressure on his shoulders, what he can be is top of the game. I think I don't see anybody. I look around world football and I think, does anybody use their right and left foot as well as him? And as a defender, you don't want somebody who can do 2 or 3 step overs, show you right and go left one time, and then the next time show you left and go right, and know that whichever way he goes, he's equally as good, and he can equally score. He's got work to do, because we all do. Even at 37, I go out and play football and make mistakes, and I think, I've got a lot of work to do. I live a lot. Normally on fitness. But I just think the nucleus of young players there, Angel Gomez, Tahith Chong, him, Scott McTominay's in there as well, Marcus,
Garner made his debut,
Jimmy Garner as well made his debut, Brandon Williams, who was travel with the team. I like him a lot. So I just think the future's bright, considering there's been sort of murmurs of our academy not being as good as your Cities and your Liverpool, and your Chelseas, because they've been in the cup finals. We always produce certain mentality in people and players, and it's showing.
Now, the Man United way is a great way, as we well know. For you lads there who travelled, don't forget to do your college work. See Dave Bushell, make sure you get your BTEC done. It's very important for your long-term education. So we did that, didn't we, Dan? We had to our schooling as well.
We had to, we did. So. We went to Ashton on Mersey and did a little bit there, and it was always the hardest part. You could have had me on the pitch running, but then you got your sports science. You're like, oh God, okay.
So I was the opposite. I went to Accrington College before. I'm a bit older than you, and I used to love that day.
Did you?
I used to think, thank God, a day off away from Eric Harrison. You know what I mean? I could do a bit of work, because I enjoyed that side of things.
Yeah.
So anyway, so moving on. So I always do this segment, Dan. It's the angel and the devil of the week.
Okay.
And I want to just say the angel this week is Lukaku. He's just broke or equal the record. It's the first time that 2 goals have been scored in 3 consecutive games since Ronaldo in 2006. And also there's been a lot of talk in the press, and I even wrote an article about it myself for the Daily Mail about Lukaku and what Solskjaer said. You know, should he actually lose some muscle size? And you know, he took his top off a few times, and you can see he's built well, but he also has to make sure he does the right training. And what he's proven over the last 2 or 3 weeks, though, like, he's an immense football player, and if he's doing the right training and he's feeling good about himself, he's got confidence, like, he's unplayable at times.
I think he's one who's flourishing under Ollie. And what I like about him particularly is the times he's been out the team, he's not moaned. He's not had any sort of ill feeling towards anybody. You know, he was number 1 striker under Jose. He was picked every single week, regardless of form or anything. And I just look at it and I think when he did come in, he bided his time. He respected the fact that Marcus was through the middle, and he played wide, and he put a shift in. And then he's got his opportunity, and he waited. And he's got his opportunity. 3 games on the spin, he scored 2 goals, and you know you have to respect it. And he is a goal scorer. And not only that, I'm looking at his performance the other night against PSG. His hold-up play, his use of his body, and just his all-round play, I thought was very good. And it was a much-needed performance when you're playing you're playing up top, away from home, and you don't have a lot of the ball. You need when it comes up for it to stick. And both him and Marcus were great the other night.
Yeah, so that was really well deserved by Lukaku this week. And the devil, I mean, we played against him. We know him a little bit. It's Michael Owen. You know, we watched BT Sport the other day, and obviously Rashford scored. And for us, it was brilliant. I think in the studio there, you had Owen Hargreaves, who I know well. Did my B licence with him, believe it or not. And Rio, they were jumping up on the chair, and they was loving the moment. But Michael Owen just sort of sat in his chair like this, and he's pretty much said like he wanted PSG to win. So because this is a bit Man United centric type of football topical thing, you know, Michael, you're going in my devil of the week. So take that on the chin, pal. Right, on other news, Dan. I'm not sure where you are with this, but I'm playing in the Offside Trust in Chester FC on Mother's Day, I think it is, on March the 31st. So I want to go down there and support that cause. They've got a right good day planned. They got myself, Lee Trundle, 5 or 6 real top players going to play in the game. So just to bring awareness about children and young adults who have been affected in football by things what shouldn't be going on, to say for better words. People have been abused and all these types of things, and we're playing against a Hollyoaks 11, so it should be good and it should be fun, and I'll try and get some coverage of that and show it on future podcasts. And something did you play it last year, didn't you? I
did, supported it last year. It was a good game. It was a good day. It was the first one last year. We played it at Curzon Ashton. It was a very good day. It went down well and helped raise awareness. I know they've been doing things like at the Northwest Football Awards and so on. They've been partnering that, and they're making good progress. The guys, Stephen and everybody down there, are doing really well. So good luck to them.
Very well. The guy Andrew Rusco has been the guy who's been contacting me and telling me everything about him playing it, and it's going to be a great day. And please support that as well. So that's the Offside Trust. That's the match on the 31st of March down at Chester. So please come along and support that. Danny, I want to just say thank you very much for coming on the show, and I'm sure we'll speak to you soon again.
Pleasure.